Hey guys, Smikket here. Today in lesson 0.6, we're going to be talking about factoring using guess and check. Okay guys? Or we could call this the Xbox method, if you've heard of that. Okay? This is the way I learned in high school. Really guys, when it comes to factoring, you do need to learn how to do it first off. And then second off, it just takes practice. And I know you hate to hear that. I hated to hear that when I was learning how to do it. But, you know what? Let's stop rambling and start doing some practice. Alright guys, so we have here example 1. We've got our trinomial right here. This one is pretty basic. It's a good example for us to start off. Okay guys, so step 1, what I'm going to do first is just write out these two parentheses, put x in there, because I know that based off of the fact that there's nothing in front of this x and that this is a trinomial, that this at least is what the beginning of it is going to look like, okay? So step 2 is I'm going to draw out an x, hence the Xbox method, and I'm going to find this number that's on the end over here, negative 32, and I'm going to put that up here in the top. And then I'm going to take the number that I have in the middle, in front of that x, 4, put that on the bottom of my x, okay? And so guys, what we're trying to figure out is which two numbers multiply out to negative 32, okay? And then we need those two numbers to also add up to 4. So that seems kind of hard to figure out at first. Well, it kind of is. What we're going to have to do is guess and check, okay? So how I'm going to do that is I'm just going to start at 1 over here, and I'm going to figure out, okay, what times what equals negative 32? Or actually just 32. Forget I said negative. Well, 1 times 32 equals 32. And I said, forget I said negative because it doesn't really matter which one of these is negative, as long as it adds up to 4. So negative 1 times 32, that's going to equal negative 32. 1 times negative 32, that would equal negative 32. If we added either of those 4 numbers up, we're not going to get 4, okay? So we can go ahead and cross that out. So let's move on to number 2. What times 2 equals 32? The only thing I can think of is 16. So if we had negative 2 plus 16, that would be 14. If we had 2 plus negative 16, that would be negative 14. Okay, so that does not equal 4. Neither of those equal 4. So let's move on to 3. 3 times what is going to be 32? Well, we need to stick with whole numbers here, guys, because, I mean, nothing that's not a whole number will add up to our whole number 4. So that is already just out of the bat. There's nothing that really multiplies to 32. That's a whole nice number. So we'll move on to 4. 4 times 8 equals 32. Okay, well, first off, this is promising because just by these numbers, it's sending off alarms in my head. It looks a lot like this number. Okay, guys? So if we had negative 4 plus 8, that does equal 4. But you gotta watch out because if we have 4 plus negative 8, then that equals negative 4. Okay, guys? So we have found that our numbers are negative 4 and plus 8. Okay, guys? And so that looks right. I'm just going to go ahead and make sure by distributing using the FOIL method, which we learned in the last video. Okay, guys? So, first, it's going to be x squared outer. X times 8 is going to be 8x. The inner part, negative 4 times x, that'll be negative 4x. And then lastly, negative 4 times 8 is going to equal negative 32. Okay guys, so we've got x squared, 8x minus 4x equals 4x. And And then we've got negative 32 right here. Okay, guys, so I just went ahead and checked to make sure that we get the same thing over here. We do. That tells us that we factored this guy right. Okay, guys? Sorry, you can hear my dog. She's messing around. I should probably get her out of the room. Okay, dog's out of the room. Let's move on to the next example. 2 more to go. Alright, so example 2. Factor x squared plus 26x plus 25. Let's get started. So we can see that over here, we don't really have anything in front of that x. So I'm going to go ahead and do what I did in the first example. Just draw my parentheses ahead of time. Okay, and then we're going to find what numbers go right here next. Okay, guys, so step 2, I'm going to draw out that x. Looks like we've got room over here. And I'm going to put positive 25 at the top of my x. And I'm going to put 26 down here at the bottom. And remember, guys, we're trying to find what multiplies out to 25 and what adds up to 26. Okay? And so you guys, whenever we have these two numbers only separated by a difference of one number, most of the time we know that 1 times that number in the top, 25, okay, is going to be our answer, because 25 plus 1 equals 26. 1 times 25 equals 25. They're both positive numbers, okay, guys? So we know x plus 1 and x plus 25 are going to be our correct answer. And I'll go ahead and just FOIL it out really quick for you guys, just so we can make sure that we did it right. Okay, guys, let's move on to our next example. We're going to do the same thing that we did for our last two. Draw our x. Use negative 42 at the top and negative 11 at the bottom. Okay, this one looks a little bit rougher, so I'm going to go ahead and start just guessing and checking. So we've got 1 times 42. Well, 42 minus 1 equals 41. 42 plus 1 equals 43. So that's not really going to help us at all. 2 times what is 42? 2 times 21 is 42. 21 minus 2, that's going to be 19. 21 plus 2, that's going to be 23. 2 minus 21, 2 plus 21. Yeah, none of that's going to work. None of that's going to add up to negative 11. So let's move on once again. Okay, does 3 go into negative 42? Let me think about it for a sec. Yes, it does. So 3 times 14 does equal 42. And I see right off the bat, 14 minus 3 equals 11. So we know that positive 3 minus 14 does in fact equal negative 11. Okay, guys? And positive 3 times negative 14 equals negative 42. Okay, guys, so it looks like we've got our numbers, positive 3 and negative 14. And I'll go ahead and FOIL this out just to check it. First, outer is negative 14x. Inner is plus 3x. And the last is negative 42. We get x squared minus 11x minus 42. Okay, guys, so we know that that is for sure correct. And we are done. Okay, guys, in the next video, we're going to go on to some more complex forms of factoring. Thanks for sticking with me. Hope you enjoyed it. Hit like, subscribe if you want to support me making these videos. Alright, love you guys. Adios.